Okay, this is a sort of prelude video to the next one entitled Astrology, Keeping It Real, with something I can show you. Now, from my observation, I have these shadows cast by the sun, and they are at a certain angle. And they will be at that angle at a certain point in the day. Obviously they move with the passage of the sun. And what also changes is the height of the sun. It's heading towards the fall, so the spiral that the sun takes as it traverses the sky from east to west, it will slowly drop. But what it doesn't do is shift back by 1 hour. But if I take into account the concept of time, I feel this is what is being reflected with the clock change. The difference between the sidereal and the tropical or Western astrology. Because whilst the shadows will still be the same at the same time of the day relative to the position of the sky and the angle of the shadows, its height will change, but it doesn't go back. So if we say 3 o'clock becomes 2 o'clock, the sun doesn't go back by 1 hour. But then when we use a concept of time with a clock change, then obviously what was 3 o'clock becomes 2 o'clock, and then when we get to the spring equinox, it will then change again, and it will almost appear as if it's moved. But the sun hasn't moved. It is what you actually see, what you actually observe. I feel this is a perfect analogy that I can use to illustrate the difference between the astrologies. So whilst with the Western astrology, some things will line up, but Western astrology has not moved with the precession. And you're being shown a sort of precession with the 2 equinoxes, and when the man-made concept clock time changes, but the sun does not move backwards, it's still in the same relative position. I hope that sort of makes sense. It's a prelude video, this one, and I'm going to put a link in the description. I invite you to watch an absolute brilliant explanation of an introduction to Sidereal Astrology by Dr. Dani, Astrologer Physician, from her channel from about a month ago, which will explain this far better than I can, but I can at least show you something that is actual. But we're in a realm of duality, so consider, why is it we are so much encouraged to be looking down, looking at the screens, not observing what is above us, what we can actually see. But perversely, there is also a story, particularly from science, about things being up there and getting us to look up there and forget about, well, what is going on below our feet. There's another message in that with deep underground military bases. I will come on to that in a future video, which will be for members only. But I'm not practicing exclusions with this. It will be you that practices the exclusion by, well, I'm not paying for the information. But again, it's very real from my perspective, because it allows me to put food on the table from the funding that will come from that. Beyond that, I would really like to be in a position to tidy up the appearance of these buildings as well. But first priority is to the real, putting food on the table, not just for myself, but for, I don't know if you can see him down there, there's Junus and Demiana there. Oh, Charis seems to have disappeared. He was here a little while ago. But he's forever fearful that he may be attacked by Damiana. It's something we're trying to overcome, but it's also a reflection with Charis of overcoming fears as much as anything else. And I don't know why Damiana has such a dislike to him, but he's not being excluded. He will be fed. I'm not leaving him out. So I invite you to watch the next video, Astrology Keeping It Real, which will be published at the same time as this video, but this one is just the prelude to that. So hopefully that I have given you an actual demonstration that is provable, and you can check this for yourself. When whatever country you're in, the clocks change. Notice in the run-up to that where the sun is in the sky compared to what the time you're being told by the clock time, and then watch what happens. Where is the sun in the sky in relation to that clock time when it either goes back an hour or forward an hour? So that's just a little extra illustration to show the difference between what is actual and what is conceptual. And whilst some things in the conceptual can seem to be true, it is not the whole story. But it can still, by agreement and the imposition of it, the collective will run with that. I mean, wouldn't it be simpler to just change the clock, move it by half an hour, one way or the other, depending on which clock change it is, and just leave it alone? But of course it's showing the duality, and it's also, as much as anything else, does cause some kind of confusion inside us, which it is designed to do, but it is designed to wake something up inside us as well. That's another thing to keep in mind with all these things, everything external of you. What is being presented to you? What is the story that is attached to it? Because we are given stories right from the word go. When you think back to a child, you'll probably have been read bedtime stories. You will have nursery rhymes and such like, things like Little Red Riding Hood as well. Those old stories, which are encoded with some very profound esoteric messages if you penetrate deeper. I'm trying to think of a couple of names now. Santos Bonacci certainly covered some of these, the old children's stories, and Michael Murdad is another one to listen to, who has gone into like Hansel and Gretel and what that represents as well. They're all stories. That is what everything is. They are all stories. But what can you gain from those stories? What insights can you find by looking deeper? There is an art in everything. You don't have to like the art or dislike the art. It is all subjective. But there is value in art, in what it can show to us. And I'm not just talking about paintings or sculpture or music. There is an art in everything. It's whether we can recognize that art is the key to so much. So as always, unconditional love to you all. Do check out the description, where there will be a link to a very excellent video by Dr. Dani, which will introduce you to Sidereal Astrology.